As I suspected, 32 flavors.
Try the sauce. I'm soaked in it.
Oh, I could lick you all day long.
No, I don't hate Balboa, but I pity the fool, and I will destroy any man who tries to take what I got.
What?
How's it going, everyone? It is Friday night. How are you all doing tonight? It is the 63rd episode of the Comic Shop Talk. Holy crap. The 63rd episode. This is crazy, guys. It's crazy, but thank you all for being here. Let's see who all came in here ready to party. Vince Womack, as always. How you doing? Cody Guy, Jacob Ironside, D Bud Martin, the Magic Poop. How you doing, Magic Poop? What's up? How are you? Hey, Tabletop Junkie, Dr. Dragon. Yes, guys, I know we're saying the word, but save the huges. Save the huge. All right. We're saving that. I know you're all right. You're already saying it. I can't even control you guys. You're nuts. You're nuts, but I love it. Seriously, that is great. Diesel, lovely Sherry. How are you guys? Hey, seriously, guys, thank you for being here tonight. We got a guest who's going to hang out with us. I'm sure you saw the thumbnail. It's like, I can put two and two together. But seriously, I'm very thankful you all came out here early. We're ready to party tonight. It's Friday night, and yes, it is a drinking stream, and yes, we're here to have fun and enjoy the finer things of life and to hang out with our guests and, of course, our usual suspects on the panel. So we're going to bring in our normal panelists first. Fenrir, how's it going, sir?
Well, Nick, it's Friday night. I got no date, half a bottle of Fresca, and for some reason I can't find my Rush mixtape. But when I do, I'm going to turn the town into hell. That I'm pretty good. Can't complain. Let's do this crap.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for being here, sir. Pleasure to have you as always. Thank you. And of course, the man, the builder of the big toys, the Iron Caster. How are you?
I got a small confession to make. I might have a small problem. Immediately after I was saying I won't buy any more dice, I bought like 2 more sets.
Of course you did. You crazy
dude, we've been to rehab 5 times already.
but Fenrir, they were metal. I don't have metal dice.
Back to square one all over again, dude.
You son of the bitches. All right.
The new week.
We'll
try again.
All right. Killer. Well, Caster, as like I said, Fenrir, thank you for being here as always. Let's enjoy the show, my friend. And of course, our guests who we got for the next hour, who will be talking comic books. And who knows, there might even be a tangent or two on action movies. We'll see. Guys, we got more than 10 of you in here. Let's give a huge, and I mean a huge welcome to Mr. Gabriel Eltaeb.
How you guys doing? Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. We're doing great, man. How's your Friday thus far? I know you're on Pacific, if I have heard correctly.
I'm in San Diego. I'm busy as heck, man, because I made a quick turnaround. I went to Vegas Wednesday morning, and I got home Thursday morning. I just went there for the express purpose of meeting Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, X-Ray Girl.
And, nice. The Vegas meetup.
Yeah, they had that meetup in Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's only 4 hours from where I live if there's no traffic. 4.5, whatever.
Nice.
So I went out, stayed at the New York hotel, and made it to the party, and then just came right home the next morning. So I did a bunch of work Monday and Tuesday. Did that trip day and a half yesterday and the day before, and I've been working all day today, editing videos and drawing my new comic and all kinds of stuff. So it's a lot of fun.
Nice. Well, hey, thank you for joining us. Considering obviously you're very, very intensely busy, I greatly appreciate it. So especially I would have totally understood if you couldn't, consider deadlines are a thing. I get that. And it sounds like you know a thing or 3 about that, considering your background. So I'm very thankful, by the way.
Yeah. You gotta do the work. You gotta be a go-getter. You gotta go find people. I asked my wife when I got home from Las Vegas, I said, how many people do you think made the drive out there, not to be a fan, but to meet people and do a little business with?
Oh, of course.
I talked to Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. He sort of knows me through Twitter. He really loves what I did at DC Comics, telling Warner Brothers to step off with their nonsense. And so I'm going to get myself on Friday Night Tights. That's great. to promote things. And I think it's one thing for Jeremy and all those people on the fan side to say, we don't like what you're doing with pop culture. It's a whole other thing for someone like me who worked there for the better part of 15 years and how hard and how many decades it takes to get a job like that. It's something else for someone like me to just walk away from them from the inside and say, no, what you're doing is wrong and I won't be a part of it. That's a whole different thing and very, it boosts morale. It's very encouraging for fans. But I do want to, if you'll share my screen, if I'll share my screen.
Yeah. No, go nuts,
I want to
dude.
show you something I thought was quite funny. Well, I guess I could, yeah. At the dinner, do you know who I ran into?
Alex Stein.
I'm going to have him on my show in a few weeks. But let me play this quick video. We did a little improv comedy. But this was at the Geeks and Gamers party in Las Vegas on Wednesday.
Okay.
All you ladies out there, you know, we're in Las Vegas and we need more big booty Latinas. We got a big booty Latinas. Big booty Latinas in Las Vegas. We got tacos.
So yeah, a good time was had, but it was very hectic, very busy getting out there. So
wow, dude, awesome. Very well. I'm glad you went, and that sounds like, you know, obviously going for business is equally as good as for the socializing, because it sounds like you made successful connections, and you're just gonna be moving your way up in the ladder. I love it, man. And obviously, I see you got at the very least a few books, and yes, it does take a go-getter to get that type of thing going. We can have so many books and still try to keep up with said deadlines. As I mentioned before, dude, I applaud the hell out of your ethic, man. We need more of you gentlemen like that out in the world. So, okay, we're gonna cut to the nitty gritty. So, when you were getting into comics, what was the first age where you're like, was it like a show or was it a comic book? What led you down the rabbit hole on your, I guess your origin story? What was the first thing you're like, comic books, this is cool? Like, what was it? Was it a movie, show, a comic book? What was it?
I have two specific memories. 3 points, two memories. Point one, I've always loved to draw. I never remember not drawing. That's something God put in me. I can remember drawing before going to kindergarten and everything. So 3 years old, 4 years old. I just love to draw for the sake of art. I just love it. And I love to look at drawings, talk about them with other professionals, work on them myself. And I don't even need to publish good drawings to be satisfied by making them. I just love to make art. I did it for the first half of my life and never got paid for it. And now, the second, last 20 something years, I'm getting paid for it. So I love art. The first thing I saw, and I bought, it was a cover with Blastar shooting like hand beams at the Thing, Ben Grimm. And I found a Dungeons and Dragons module that had that artwork on the cover when I was an adult. So I bought that. It was some coloring book or comic I saw when I was like 5 or 6. But I always loved to draw. I always loved comics, but I never bought them because I didn't have a lot of money when I was little. And I got a job when I was 12. I've been working since I was 12. But finally, once I started throwing newspapers and mowing lawns, and then eventually worked at Pizza Hut, all kinds of jobs in high school. I was at my friend Sean Bandy's house when I was 13, and I saw X-Men issue 1 by Jim Lee and Scott Williams, Chris Claremont. And when I saw that cover with the Beast, I was transfixed. And I was like, what is this? This has too much excitement, too much energy. I'd never seen a drawing like this. And in that moment, I decided I had to be Jim Lee. I had to work for Jim Lee. I had to do all this stuff. And I worked on drawing forever, college newspapers, design work, video games, Halloween props. I worked at, and then long story short, so that was 13 years old. Long story short, Jim Lee personally hired me when I was 27. So I skipped over all the hard work. But from age 13 until 27, my stated goal was I was going to work for Jim Lee, and I got it done. So God bless me. So that was good.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Holy, that is crazy. You literally said, I need to do this. And then it literally happened. Holy crap. That is
holy crap, maybe, but I really don't believe in that. I really believe that if one man can do anything, anyone can do it. I believe all of us are capable, and I believe the culture beats people down, especially men, especially white people, especially men, tells you that you are bad just for who you are, and that you should rein in your nature. Like aggression is bad. Bullshit aggression is bad. If a man is breaking the window at 3 a.m, God forbid, your wife wants you to be very aggressive. Aggression is good. You pair aggression with righteousness, and there's nothing better. So all this stuff about toxic, man, I don't even argue about it. I laugh at people like that. Like, go ahead and ruin your life living that way and listening to feminists. I'm going to be over here counting money with Eric July. You know what I mean? I'm going to be over here sleeping on a bed of $1,000 bills with Eric July. So, well, I guess we wouldn't be in the same bed. We'd probably get twin beds.
I always thought you just swim in a hot tub with money.
Why not? You know?
Yeah, right. Why not? No, you can get there. No, that's awesome.
But
so
we're gonna find a way to melt money down and
sure
make it a little.
Just make the money there. Just put the money and swim around it. Just play Scrooge McDuck all over the damn thing.
Right. Well, I think there's I've seen a lot of haters for Eric July and the success we've had on Rippaverse, and me and Eric were on the phone yesterday laughing about people that challenge him, like, you didn't really make $3 million. Show us your books. Give us your tax ID. I was like, I'm not giving you any of that. And I usually tell those people, I try not to be too mean on Twitter, but I tell them, you've never succeeded. You don't know how to succeed. So when people like me and Eric July, we succeed, and Ethan Van Sciver, it does confuse you because you have no idea how to do this. So watching people do it, you're like, well, I wouldn't have done that. It's like, yeah, no kidding. That's why you have the mess you have for a life. And I will say one more thing, and then I know I talk a lot, but it's your show.
Dude,
so
I'm a chatty guy. You're fitting right in.
Okay.
Caster and Fender can vouch for me on that.
Oh yeah.
In our culture,
absolutely.
in our culture, they glorify epistemological knowledge. That's book learning, college degrees, blah blah blah. I have a college degree. I was on the honor roll. I got scholarships. It's mostly worthless to go to college unless you're a specific doctor, engineer, lawyer. You know, you're going to be doing surgery. Otherwise, it's a money scam college. We all know that. But epistemological knowledge is nothing. Book knowledge is basically useless. The only real teacher in life is experience. You don't know something unless you did it. I could read all about Paris, France, memorize the entire history, memorize a map of the city, but if I never went there, I don't really know anything about Paris. That's how it really is in real life. So when people watch me succeed, people watch me take the initiative to go to Las Vegas because I think, oh, I'm friendly with geeks and gamers. They like me, but we've never shook hands. And I know how important that is for business. I'm going to make the 300-mile drive or 200-mile drive from San Diego to Vegas, get a hotel, stay there for 15 hours, and come right home just so I can shake their hand and look them in the eye from 2 feet away. That's initiative. And ask yourself, can any of you do that? Can you all drive a car? Can you all go and shake someone's hand? And that's the difference between winning and losing is success is just the people that do it. And you do it and you do it and you do it every day. And you just get a little and a little and a little more success. And losers and haters and narcissists, they make fun of you. Oh, look at Nick Weiser. His YouTube channel has whatever subscribers. Go ahead and laugh now. Nick will keep it up and he'll have hundreds of thousands as long as he never quits. That's the whole thing. People don't get that. It's just a little bit of improvement every day. And then one day you're an overnight success. So the haters, the weirdos, the postmodern feminists, just feel sorry for them, to be honest. Don't let them anger you. Just stay on your mission and just get a little bit better every day. You have to be sincerely hardworking, though. You have to.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. You know, and that's funny you mentioned because, you know, I remember when I started off 2 years ago, and of course, there was absolutely nobody. And then over time, then before you know it, 1K happened, monetization happened, and that was obviously there was some help along the way, but I still made sure just because I had help doesn't mean I still got to put in my foot to make sure things are happening. And I did that, and I look back and I felt great. It felt like a huge accomplishment in my life, and just like, okay, what can I now need to get to 2, then to 5, then to 10, and you just gotta keep at it, keep at the grind, and like it's just like, no, just don't worry about the sleep, just keep at it. Eventually, one day you'll be able to like have your time of rest, but for now, keep the grind going, and your life will be thankful for it. And you know, I obviously I told you before, like I have children, like I have my family, my girlfriend, like. One day we're all gonna be thankful, and it's gonna be great because I'm gonna look back and say I put in the grind, I put in the work, and it feels good. It feels good.
Yeah, let them laugh, let them tell you to get a real job, whatever. What do you think they told me when I was submitting 4 pages a week to Wildstorm for years? I lived in San Diego. I was married. I was working construction. My wife was a waitress. We were poor. We got free peanut butter, free cheese on the government, whatever. We worked. We didn't just sit on our asses. You know, we were working full time, but we were broke. But I kept turning in drawings, rejection letter. I wish I could just run in the other room real quick and show you a stack. I'm going to get them. You hold on for 10 seconds.
Go ahead, please. He's giving me the energy.
This night's being so cool.
I love it. He gives off such an energy to him. That's what I love. And welcome to the panel, Mr. Pablo.
Howdy ho!
Great to have you here, sir.
All right, these are just endless rejection letters from Marvel, DC, Dark Horse. People who ended up paying me hundreds of thousands of dollars would send me a letter, each of them once a week. Sir, we received your submissions. They're not good enough. Keep practicing.
Can I
blah,
zoom
blah,
in
blah.
on that?
Yeah, hold on a second.
Okay, yeah, I'm holding.
Here's
holding.
a Fabian Nisizaya X-Force plot. They sent me to draw as a sample. See, it says Nisizaya X-Men number 20 plot. And there's just letter after letter after letter. Let me see if I can find them because this is a mess right here. And they just say, this is from Darren Ock, art director, Marvel Comics, 387 Park Avenue South. Dear Gabriel, thank you for submitting your work to Marvel for consideration. While your work shows a great deal of effort and raw talent, you still have some ways to go before blah, blah, blah. So multiply that by 1 million of those since I'm 17 years old until Jim Lee finally hires me when I'm 29. So if you quit, you have no one to blame but yourself. No one. You know, and it's sad to think. I was talking to my wife the other day about like the NFL and all these high level things.
Oh,
you know,
so disappointing.
People who do what I do and make a lot of money are very rare in comics, right? And a very successful, a lot of money, a lot of success. That's a rare level to get to. But the only difference is A, it's God's blessing, but B, it's never quitting. And I thought, think about how many people in the NFL never played. They broke their ankle or the coach didn't like them or whatever, or they quit. And they might have been the greatest player of all time. You know what I mean? Like a Schrodinger's cat. Maybe Michael Jordan isn't the greatest basketball player of all time. Maybe the greatest basketball player of all time is some guy that never played because he got upset and quit because something went wrong one day on the team or whatever. And he quit in high school or he quit in college and he could have been the greatest ever. We'll never know. So the difference between having what you want and not having the life you want is never quitting. You know what I mean? And you have to be very, very aware of your death. You will not escape it. And you won't know when it's coming, basically. And you got to understand there's no, okay, well, you live life this time and you die. Then you'll come back and try it again and you'll learn. No, this is it. For all human history, we've never seen anyone come back. I guess the disciples saw Jesus. But mortal men, regular people like us, we've never seen one come back. This is it. Do not waste another minute. Whatever you want to do, guys, get on it today. Let people laugh at you and hate you. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Sorry, go ahead.
No, dude, I was telling when you went to go get your rejection letters, you give off such a great energy to you. Like, it's like, because like I've been at it like through my day since 5 or 6 a.m. and it's now near 9 p.m. on my time. And I feel even more alive now than I did more than 17, 18 hours ago, just by hearing you. I feel like so inspired by listening to you. Like, I feel like you could like be like a co-writer of a Rocky movie or something.
Here's the thing. I'm into action, all that. I'm a huge dude. I'm 6'4". I'm all of 290 pounds of muscle. I'm not a nerd. I don't like nerdiness and all that. Actually, the teleporter in Star Trek. Blah, blah. Oh, please. I can't stand any of that. I'm a smart guy. I'm into intellectual pursuits, but I'm a jock. I played football. I coached it forever. I say I'm a jock that knows how to draw. You know what I mean? I really love drawing, but I'm very physical. I love martial arts and boxing. I go to the UFC fights in Vegas now. That's a new thing I started doing with my son.
Oh, nice.
Not all of them, but I go. It's very expensive to go, so we don't go.
I know.
But I love being a man. I embrace it fully. You know what I mean?
As you should.
So, as far as you feeling pumped up, dude, I was a football coach for years, middle school, high school kids, and every team I ever coached won the championship or made it to the championship. And it's because I had a great coach growing up. I had a great high school football coach.
Cool, dude.
We won the championship twice when I was in high school. Then my son won 3. You know what I mean? So it's a big part of my life is motivation and just. I think because of my childhood, my parents are divorced, and I felt completely abandoned and alone most of my whole life. I became completely self-reliant. Like, no one's coming. Dad ain't coming through that door to help you. You're gonna do it yourself. That's the attitude I adopted. Now that's wrong. I've learned as an adult. People do want to help me, but it taught me to work hard for myself, and God will help me. But unfortunately, I didn't think any other human being would help me or care about me, and that's not right. But it did teach me to be completely self-reliant and believe that I could do anything as long as I did it. You know what I mean? So
it's like you have to learn to believe in yourself, trust in yourself to be able to push that out to get that motivation. You have to find that motivation inside because
right. But you know, if you watch my channel, you'll see I'm always trying to motivate people, always trying to coach them up. I do have that personality naturally. I always want to root for the little guy. Even though I'm a big guy, I was never a bully. In fact, in school, I beat up bullies a few times because I hated the injustice of it. I saw a bully. My very best friend, we'd only been friends like 2-3 weeks in this, and he's a Filipino guy. And to this day, he's only like 5'2". But in elementary school, he was, 4 feet tall or whatever. And I've been a giant my whole life. In 5th grade, I was 5'10" already in 5th grade.
Power.
A kid was bullying him, so I just beat the shit out of that kid. And there's just something about the little guy, the guy that nobody cares for, the guy that has the balls to stand up to the entire mob. I love that guy. I want to be that guy, and I want to support that guy. So I don't know. I want to just, everyone listening, if you feel like sad and broken and just like nothing's working for you, it doesn't matter. Today's a new day. Tomorrow's a new day. Take the smallest thing you can do of your new goal and do it. That's all you have to do. And then tomorrow, just add another Lego and another one and another one, just one day at a time. And one day you'll have a Mount Everest of success. That's all it is. One day at a time.
Agree. And you're going to have days where, like you had your rejection letters, you're at days where things don't get done, but the day after is the day for improvement. You're always right. You're at the days where you get the losses, but you make up for it the day after with the greater victories. And when those victories happen, they're so much sweeter. And man,
I'll tell you this. You're right, and it's never good improv to disagree with someone, but these letters are not failures. You know what they are?
Okay,
They are steps on the ladder. You imagine a ladder has rungs. This is one. This is another.
Okay.
And to get to Jim Lee hiring me, there were 500 of these or whatever it was. You ask Todd McFarlane, he'll tell you the same thing. He has like 400 rejection letters from Marvel and DC. He is the most brilliant businessman in the history of our industry. No one can touch Todd McFarlane. Not Jim Lee, not Mark Silvestri, not Stanley. I'm just talking business-wise. I'm not saying he's a great artist.
Oh, no, he's great at business. He's excellent.
With the toys and the TV shows and the new movies coming and the old movies. No one has done better business than Todd, and he just didn't quit. You know what I mean? And that's what it is, guys. And to want your success today is narcissistic, childish, and selfish. It is. You're going to get it when it comes, and it'll be done when it's done. You just have to do today's work today. I can't emphasize that enough.
And I think
most people can't see that. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think that's exactly why the modern generation of writers now in both Marvel and DC fail, because they just want to be the big thing immediately. They don't want to work for it. They don't want to sweat for it or give the blood. They just want to jump right in, use the things that were already used in the past, make their own crap, not build anything new. They just want to be the big name now. They don't want to. They don't have the patience. They don't have the dedications. They don't have the drive to just build the road. They just want to.
Exactly right.
Just want
exactly right.
Yeah, and that's why they take so many shortcuts. They change the characters that are established and try to make them their own versions instead of just going the trial by fire. That's something that you need to. You need to progress. You need to grow. In life,
exactly.
Especially on something as complicated as art. You can believe that what you are making is good. That doesn't mean it's good. It means that you have a bias to your own work. But people don't know how much effort, and they don't care how much effort you have put into it. They care if they like it or not. And to get to that level, maybe you need to fail. You need to fail
that is true.
A lot.
Yeah,
that is true. And that's why I kind of think it's ridiculous every time they say they make a new interpretation of a character and just say, oh, this is my version of it. But that's the thing. This character has been done numerous times by numerous artists, and they all did their own interpretation of it, but they always stayed true to it. Why is it only now that it's your version that it needs to be completely altered so forever?
Well, what I see from these people, having worked with them for years, what I see from the new crop in the last 5 years of woke nonsense is narcissism writ large. So it's everything is not art, believe it or not, is not a magic power or just some talent. God puts a talent for artistic creativity and understanding in artists, but you have to lift the weights. You have to shoot the free throws for the ball to eventually be going in. You can't just be tall and then get in the NBA. You have to still practice. So yes, being born artistic is like being born 7 feet tall, but there are probably 20 million 7-foot tall people on Earth. Most of them are not in the NBA. Only 400 are. So what is the difference there? Well, the tall people practiced more and probably had more opportunity. But regardless, they had to practice. So my point is, narcissism, this religion of worshiping the self and seeking pleasure. Pleasure is the only thing that matters. Well, you're not going to work hard if you only think pleasure matters, because working hard is very uncomfortable. So you have a bunch of young people who can't work hard and they want to write and draw comics and all this. It's like, well, it's only for people who have worked for years. It's not for people who just want to please themselves. So you get these stories that violate the rules of art. And art is scientific. It's a science. Our brain is wired to recognize patterns. That's why when you hear a joke, you laugh, because it's a pattern. I can tell you, I'm an award-winning comedy writer when I was in college. My daughter's a stand-up comedian.
Wow.
Nice.
For her. So, and I can tell you the science of a joke. Here's exactly how you write a joke. Logic is A and B is C, right? Well, a joke is A and B is D. It's still true, but it's something you never saw coming. That's all a joke is. You know what I mean? And art is the same way. You have stories, you have drawings, and they follow patterns. And when your brain, which is hardwired from birth to recognize these patterns, sees the pattern, you get dopamine, whatever, you get pleasure chemicals in your brain, and that's the good feeling art gives you. So when you're a social justice warrior and you write a story to subvert expectations and it breaks that pattern, that's why you don't enjoy it when you see it. There's literal
It
science
gives nothing.
behind it. So that's why these people can't write well, because they're putting their narcissistic selfishness ahead of the craft of drawing or writing or whatever. And it's mostly the writers, to be honest. It's not the artists. We still have great illustrators. But they just want
there are
to
many.
put themselves in the story and make their political point, and they're breaking the rules of storytelling in a way that actually breaks it as art, and it doesn't work artistically.
Yeah, because most writers suck as people, and it's best that we write characters that are not ourselves. Let's be honest, most human beings suck.
Well, I like to be more hopeful than that.
I like to be
Dude,
more hopeful.
I'm hopeful
of that too.
I'm talking in general, Marvel and DC today.
Well, that's just who they're hiring.
Human beings have potential to be great. And that's why I always
Yes,
coach people up, because I don't want to see people waste it. You're gonna get old and die, and then that's it. And every one of you hearing the sound of my voice, you have the capability to live a life that they will build a statue of you when you are gone. Do not waste it. Do not waste it drinking Mountain Dew and watching porn, playing your Xbox 8 hours a day. Knock it off. Knock it off. Like, don't waste your life. It's so precious. I'm from here. I was born in America.
I've never had Mountain Dew.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're in Portugal, right? Do they not have it in Portugal, Fenrir?
No, they do have that. They have that. I just never took it.
Yeah, don't. I heard Adam Carolla, the great American comedian, say they should put birth control medicine in Mountain Dew. That would help things out with future generations. Yeah, I thought that was so funny. He's a hilarious guy.
That is hilarious.
You know, I feel like the bigger crime ultimately is with this new generation of writers and quote unquote creatives coming in to spike the ball and try to really make their impact. Like, we're gonna make Batman bisexual or whatever, what have you, whatever the flavor of the week is.
Right.
To kind of speak to what you're saying there, it's the bigger problem is, yeah, sure, it got headlines now, but what is that doing for the long-term ramifications of the character of this property you're only holding on to for a short amount of time?
Well,
you need
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, these characters, these properties need to be protected and conserved to be able to pass on to the next generation, to the next writer, the next person who comes along.
Right. Well, I would say this, and this is why I did what I did leaving DC Comics. We can share my screen in a second if you want.
Yes, sir.
But
I'll actually going to upload the IndeGoGo screen anyway, so this works out. But
okay?
All right,
I would say this. Liken it to a burgeoning McDonald's, 50 years ago or whatever it was. You have on your menu 3 hamburgers, shakes, and fries, and all your hamburgers are beef. Cheeseburger, regular burger, double burger, right? It's all beef, fries, shakes. That's all you have. Then someone comes along and says to you, you don't have a fish sandwich. You're like, right. Some people like fish, not as many like beef. Some like fish. Let's add a fish sandwich. That's good business. Maybe you'll sell a few. Here's what SJWs do. They say to you, hey, Mr. McDonald, you have all beef hamburgers. We need to replace those best-selling burgers, get rid of all your beef, and only have fish because 10% of people want fish. You would go out of business.
Yep.
You got rid of your number one that a lot of people like and replaced it with something to placate some narcissist's ego. Just add the new gay character. Don't take away the one that's good and sells. That's like you're getting rid of Superman is a printing press.
Yes.
Batman, you could print money if you own Batman.
Mhm.
Don't get rid of that. And you know what? And people say, oh, you're homophobic. You don't like Superman's bisexual son. If you do 2 seconds of research on me, the first book that I did at Wildstorms as a colorist there,
yeah,
The Midnighter. He's very gay. And I really like
great
him.
character.
Ultra violence.
Great character. Yeah.
And he was created that way. So he was created as the fish sandwich. He was not formerly a Big Mac. What would can you imagine if McDonald's announced tomorrow we're replacing the Big Mac with 2 fish patties? It's their number one sandwich. Why would they do that?
That's a hell of an analogy. You're right. I never thought of it like that.
Why the fuck would you do that? Just make a double fish burger and see if it sells. The market will speak. People love junk food. People love superheroes. Just make all kinds of gay characters if you want. All kinds of illegal immigrant, black, disabled, whatever you want to do to call yourself a hero. Go ahead and make those characters and see if they sell. But they can't. And they know they can't. Not because those characters are bad, because they're not good writers, because they're narcissists. So they see all the speed and the momentum and the power that something like Batman has as he's cruising along and making money, and they want to slap their ideology on it because they're narcissists. So that's what they're doing there. And, I don't want to be a part of it. And the main reason I didn't want to be a part of it is because I don't want to be a bigot. They call everyone a bigot, but when you group people up, when you put everyone that's gay, everyone that's black, I'm a half Mexican, half Arab. When you put us in a group and say, I can't believe any black man is a Republican. Well, now you're saying,
dude, I have a few friends who are like that, who are black men, who are, I guess you guess whether you want to call conservative or Republican or both, but yeah. Oh, they've gotten flack. I live in Chicago. Trust me, I've seen or lived in Chicago, dude. They get mad flack for it, mad. So go on.
But my point is, when you say no black people should be conservative, now you're saying all black people are the same. That's quite racist. No woman should be blah blah blah. They should all be for abortion. They should all think the same. That's very racist. So because they are racist, the SJWs that work at Marvel and DC, I was able to hide in plain sight. Because when your name is Gabriel Eltaeb in Arabic, they have they just assume you're far left because they are racist. They look at my race and make assumptions about me. So I just hung out there for years hiding. You know what I mean? But they went too far. They want to ruin Superman. And the thing that bothered me the most was getting rid of his slogan, Truth, Justice, American Way.
American Way.
And Superman lands in Kansas, adopted parents. They are white, Christian, American farmers. That gave him his personality and his morals and his beliefs and his culture. That's what makes Superman a hero, is his culture, not his flying or laser eyes or anything. It's his heart, his restraint, his generosity, his love, his care. All of those good things, those are, whether any SJW likes it or not, those are defined as American culture because they were taught to him by Midwestern Americans. So you just have to eat it if you don't like that. It's too bad. It's canon. That's how it is. So for them,
I agree with that actually.
For them,
because it's actually, sorry.
Go ahead.
It's just that what you said about the truth, just in the American way. That is very true. Here's the thing. I'm not even American. I grew up with that slogan and I love it. I still do. It's amazing. It's inspirational. And when it speaks about the American way, it's speaking about what we should try to achieve.
Right.
The peace, the beauty, and just to be better.
Dude,
taking it away for the better tomorrow just leaves a hole of nothingness.
Yeah.
Well, again,
the classic is better.
I'm in Ecuador.
SJW, nothing can be better than them because they are God. The narcissist Tom Taylor, writer. So when they see Truth, Justice, American Way, it's like a vampire singing a cross or something. They don't like it because, like, oh, America's big and great and accomplished. No, I am the greatest thing. So I will write a new slogan based on what Tom Taylor thinks. And it's so insidiously evil and narcissistic. And it's like, how dare you, asshole? You're from Australia, first of all. How dare you come to our country, our companies, our characters, things that were literally built by the American way. Why don't you go work on the million-selling Australian Superman? Oh, that's right.
They're
It
like
doesn't
60s
fucking
supervillains.
It doesn't exist because our culture is amazing, and we made up stuff like this. So I find it so offensive.
Agreed.
But my football background teaches me this: if they're going to fumble the ball, I'm going to pick it up and run a touchdown the other way. So that brings us to this great comic book right here, Truth, Justice, American Way.
Yes.
And, if you want something that feels like OG Star Wars in the 70s, OG Batman, the animated series, just your 80s action and all that, we've got you covered.
Ooh, look at that.
Kick ass.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
If
Sorry,
you have Marvel, put the link in the chat. People, you got to go buy this right now. I know you want to support me. You want to support us in the culture war here. And just forget the culture war for a minute. You just want to be entertained with something that isn't woke, but it also isn't anti-woke, dude. It's just fun. I'm not going to tell you you're a dumbass because you're a Democrat if you read my book. I don't care. I want you to feel like you're having fun. I don't care what you believe. I'm not going to push that stuff on you. I want to have beliefs that unite all of us. Heroism, selflessness, bravery in the face of terror. That's what the book is about, and it's really, really fun action. Beautifully illustrated by David Williams. So that's what we're all about here.
That is glorious. And guys in the chat, this is the link to Truth, Justice, American Way. And Pablo here on our panel is also from Ecuador. Pablo, you wanted to say something about the quote that Mr. Gabe had about this book?
There's two things. One, my grandfather, he loved the Christopher Reeve Superman movie, and one of his favorite scenes was Truth, Justice, and the American Way.
Right.
You know, and that's a moment that it has stuck with me from my childhood. Is something that I can see a superhero having a strong conviction on his values and the things that he cares about being admirable, and that's something that comes from my grandfather. He was Ecuadorian too. And secondly, what you were saying about that you will not throw away people that are on the other side of the fight. That's the most that's the most American thing that you can think about.
It's so
it's
American.
capitalism.
I love it.
They have money too. I want that money. Welcome. Just welcome.
Right. And money, yes. I want to make millions of dollars doing what I do. I put that out there in the open, of course. I want you guys to make me filthy rich. But I don't want to just be mean to someone because they disagree with me about politics. At the end of the day, we are the middle class and the poor. We're not the global elites that control the multinational corporations. And that's really who is versus who. And they like to divide and conquer us on the street level, all the way from, I'd say, the upper middle class, like someone like me, all the way down to the dirt poor. They tell us we're enemies. They tell you I hate you. They tell you, they tell me that you hate me, Democrat, Republican, gay, straight, Christian, atheist. No, we're on the same side. It's the evil governments and the giant corporations. They hate all of us. They hate all of us. They look at us like rats. You know what I mean? They hate us. So absolutely. So whatever your politics, you're gay, you're whatever, I don't care. You're not going to have more fun reading any comic more than mine. And
I backed it. So I also did the charity. I did the charity edition. When I backed it, I did the charity edition. Because I thought that I thought that was I thought like for me when I backed it, when I did, like I'm gonna back the charity version because I want to make sure this comic gets into hands that don't have as much accessibility to comics. Right. So when I saw you take that extra step, I was like, spending that extra little money was a no-brainer for me personally.
Thank you.
Oh my pleasure, man.
Right.
I got the truth cover, by the way. I was the truth guy.
Thank you. And by step, it was in October. I made international news for 2-3 days. It was very surreal.
I remember. Oh, we were all talking about it.
Oh yeah. I recorded the whole thing.
Yeah.
Man, now that sounds kind of weird.
Yeah, the only regret I have is that I didn't do it sooner and I didn't do it harder. If I had to do it over again, I would do it even more. I think that they are a joke. I think they're disgusting people, and I really hope they change their ways. It's awful what they're doing. It's immoral. It's egregious. My father's from Libya. That place is a hellhole right now, disaster.
So I've heard.
And
I've heard.
They had a socialist dictator you may have heard of, Muammar Gaddafi.
No, I've heard of him.
Murdered my grandfather, murdered my dad's friends, and my dad has been on like a death list until Gaddafi was overthrown in 2011. But I've never met my dad's family. I don't know my dozens of aunts and uncles and cousins. Never met my grandparents there. I don't even know how to be sad about that. That I don't know my namesake. I don't know those people at all. The jokes, the meals at the holidays. I have none of that in my memories because a socialist dictator told my dad, "You come back here, we're going to kill you." So there's no way I will be part of bringing socialism to America. There's no way, because I know how it's affected my family directly. And my grandfather on the other side, my mom's side, he fought in the Pacific in World War II, watched his friends die, guts all over the beaches. I'm not going to say the American way isn't profound, that it isn't exceptional. You can go fuck yourself if you want me to do that. And I told him that. I told him, hell, I'm not doing that. And Jim Lee, you got to remember, this is full circle. My favorite, my hero when I was 12. After I quit, I texted him and shoot him out. I did. I made a video about it. You can look at my YouTube channel.
I remember when those videos came out. I watched them.
Yeah, I let him know. And I told him it was a disgrace. And I told him, you're not even from here, dude. You're from South Korea. And look at what America has given you. You're a millionaire a jillion times over. Beautiful wife and children, living a dream life in Southern California. South Korea didn't do that. How dare you do this to America? How dare you?
Yeah,
It disgusts me when I think about it. It disgusts me.
No, man. No, I want to ask, when you were obviously, it sounds like when you had finally made the decision to pull the plug with DC, were you planning the move, or did you just like kind of one day just said, okay, you know what, that's it, I've had it? Because I would imagine like you had to have had this book, kind of like on the side, like, you know what, I'm going to build this idea. No.
Wow. Now, I had some ideas about my action movie book, Beef Law, in my head, but the stuff I'm doing, Truth, Justice, America Way, Eric July, that all happened way after I quit. I quit on principle because I was working on the book. Tom Taylor's a horrible SJW writer, and I didn't like what we were doing in the book at all. It was really angering me. And I was visiting my father a year ago. It was the beginning of September. I stayed with my dad for like 2-3 weeks in Colorado. I live in San Diego. And I went out to visit my dad, the one from Libya, and I told him about it. I said, Dad, he doesn't know shit about comics. He's never read them. He doesn't care. He's proud that I do this, but he doesn't get it. He's not interested. And I told him about it. I said, what do I do? I don't want to do this. I signed a contract. What do I do? He said, well, you can't just quit. You signed a contract. You got to be a man of your word. He said, tell them you're going to resign when the contract is over. So I wrote them an email thanking them for all the years I worked there. I will finish myself. But I wasn't hostile at first. And they were like, oh, my God, Jim Lee, Tom Taylor, everyone. I could show the emails. I won't because they're private, but I could. We love you. Thank you. So many years of service. You saved our butts. Can't wait to see you and work with you again someday. Blah, 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 blah. Just praising me. And then I was on Ethan's show and like kind of ranted about how I hated what we were doing, but I was going to be a man and finish my contract. Then the day after that, they told me, no, we don't want you to finish the contract, blah, blah, blah. So, but they paid me out on some of it. So I guess that's cool. So I got paid for a bunch of work I didn't do. So that's cool.
Silver lining.
No, as far as having work lined up, not at all. I just trust God, man. And I'm like, I don't need work lined up to quit doing evil. If they're telling me, you got to start selling crack, and they didn't tell me that, YouTube. If they told me that, I would just say, no, I'm not going to do that. So I just, I'm not going to do this. You guys are being awful. I'm not going to do this. So, but right away, Ethan gave me a little bit of work, trading cards, cool story, bro. He gave me that. And then he told me, talk to this guy, Eric July. He's going to have a book, and it's going to be huge. And I had no idea who Eric July was. And, $3.5 million later, I guess Ethan was right.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's been awesome. Eric is awesome. We were talking on the phone, laughing about things yesterday and having a good time. And Truth, Justice, American Way, I didn't get that till it was like December. It was right after Christmas, like December 27th. I quit DC like mid-October. So I didn't get Truth, Justice, American Way. David Williams came to me, and we've been working on Bass Reeves for like 2 years. This is it right here. And you guys need to sign up for Bass Reeves. The full 6 issues are going to be on a IndeGoGo, I believe, or Kickstarter, or both.
Can you post it in the private chat? Do you have a link to post for the sign up in the private chat? I'll post it on my on my YouTube?
I don't have that, but I can look it up real quick.
Okay.
But I was working with him on Bass Reeves for the Bright Risers for a while, and then he came to me with this idea about Truth, Justice, American Way, and I was like, oh, okay. I love the idea. He gave me the premise. There were 3 heroes that are like your main Avengers or your main Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, like whatever, and they get framed by new, like edgy sort of SJW heroes, and they have to solve the mystery of who framed them and save the world. The world's going to end if they don't solve this mystery, and like literally millions, maybe billions dead if they don't solve this problem. And hold on, I'm going to put that in the private chat for you.
Sounds good.
So there's Bass Reeves. What's else? So in the middle of Bass Reeves, right around Christmas, he gave me that idea. So I went and created the villain, and I went and created the sidekicks, and I went and wrote a plot. I wrote like a 50-page like plot, and I emailed it back to him, and he was shocked because he didn't ask me to do that. I just said, well, here's what I think we could do with your premise. And he said, I have pitched this idea to all kinds of different artists, and they all tell me, yeah, I like it, and they never do anything. And he was like, wow, you're serious. I'm like, I'm serious. I like making comics. I like your idea. So when I pitched him on it, on my concept, he loved it. So we're going forward with that. And I need you all. You hear the sound of my voice. You like what I'm saying. You got to back it today, guys. You got to. And let's see. Yeah, so here it is. I won't tell you the name of this villain here. This bad guy, this pirate. I'm so proud of his name, though. I came up with it when I was weightlifting here in my gym. And I think a lot. I like to think and clear my head sometimes when I'm lifting weights. And but the concept in this book is amazing.
I got to say real quick, looking through the campaign, I thought Truth was going to be my favorite character. This pirate guy is my favorite. Like, I love the
looks like a trap jaw mixed with a pirate.
Yeah. Well, that's just, the one of the main design keys here. I let David design everything because he's the penciler, and I want him to only have fun when he's drawing. So when we're breaking story, I don't write a script like page 1, panel 2, panel 3. I'm just like, page 1, this happens. Page 2 and 3, double page spread like you're seeing page 2 and 3 right here. And then I let David go wild with it, and he can do whatever he wants. If he wants to add some pages, take some away, condense them, expand them, whatever. Because when you work at Marvel and DC, you're not free. Your hands are tied as an artist, and art is about creativity. It's about self-expression. So I tell David, design the characters how you like, change the pages, don't change them, whatever. So we have total artistic freedom, like being a little 5-year-old when I started drawing at like 3, 4, 5. That's the way we feel again. So then when David finishes the pages, I'll go back and add the dialogue. I'm dialoguing the book. We're writing the story together, but I'm doing all the dialogue. So yeah,
dude, no, that's so cool that you clearly, right after you got out of DC, you clearly had you were charged, you were ready, and you responded. And I think that's honestly sometimes that's what makes for some of the coolest stories, is where you get off of something that was, like, I guess you could say, a burden on your life, and you took that burden and made it your opportunity. And out comes Truth, Justice, American Way. And now you got Bass Reeves as well. And of course, you being the co-host for ISOM #1 with the Rippaverse here. I love how you take a burden, a tragedy, you make it opportunity. And I would I also like to, I've always wanted to mention this to you. I like how when you look at ISOM's suit, the color makes it seem like you can tell what kind of material the suit's made of. Like, I always feel like, I hope this doesn't sound weird. I'm sorry if it does, but it also feels like you can feel the material of the suit by the way the color looks.
Well,
I love that.
That's part of what you do when you color something is you have to make sure there's texture. I think the worst thing in comics right now, artistically speaking, illustration-wise, is color. There are so many bad colorists working in the mainstream and in independent comics because Photoshop is like a Ferrari, like a V12 engine. It is so powerful. And it's like most of these colors, it's like giving the keys to a Ferrari to a 12-year-old. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know what the hell they're doing, but they can do anything in Photoshop, and it looks like they're doing anything they want. It's crazy how bad so many colors are, and they destroy work. But one of the great things about me is I'm an illustrator. I started off in this business drawing, and I can fully illustrate at a well above average professional level. So when I color, I think, well, would I want my work colored this way? Would I want these fine inks destroyed by a color special effect or any nonsense like that? So I definitely, I have an appreciation for pencils and inks as I color because I know how to pencil and ink. So thank you, though. I know I'm very good at it, and I enjoy it quite a bit. So speaking of that, can I show you,
Dude?
If you
The
want
floor is yours, man. We're enjoying what you're showing us. We're enjoying the energy. I love your energy so much. I respect the hell out of it so much. It makes me feel like so good, and like I feel, once again, like I said to you at the beginning of the show, I feel like more alive now than when I did this morning. I felt good this morning too. It was like I had a bad day. I had a good day. I had a great day.
Right.
But I feel even more better now, like talking to you. Oh, what do you got?
Let me show you these. You want to put the camera on me real quick?
Yes,
So
sir.
my next book after Truth, Justice, American Way is called Beef Law. It's Max Volkov is the champion pit fighter in the underground Hong Kong martial arts scene in 1994.
Nice.
His father runs afoul of the Chinese and Russian mob, who are in league with the British government, and Max is forced to fight in illegal tournaments to save his father and his family from these Russian and Chinese mobsters. And so that's Max Volkov, our main character. Basketball was big in the 90s. So these are just character studies. These are just character studies I've been doing. But here's the Chinese mob boss. This is his daughter, Zhang Jing. You know what I mean? And so I'm going with the Street Fighter kind of artistic style. A little Arthur Adams and a lot of over-the-top sexuality and masculinity. It's not X-rated or perverted. There's no sex in it. But the women, of course, there'll be way too big of boobs.
Nice. Oh, that's the best way to go, man.
But it's because the mainstream doesn't do it. Not because I'm such a perv. It's like we got to push back. You know what I mean? So again, like,
we need to bring back the sexiness.
Right. Here's her father here. This is Zhang Wei. She's Zhang Jing. This is the son of the Russian mobster, Sergei Morozov. You know what I mean? So again,
that movement.
Yeah, I'm really pushing that.
Oh, that mohawk.
Yeah, and then here's Misha. He's the head of the Russian mob in Hong Kong, and that he's really the one after Max's family. Here's Max's twin brother, Alex, and it's got the Russian spelling of Alex, and it's kind of like Van Damme plays his own twin in about 5 or 6 movies, so that's why I went with the twin brothers in Hong Kong, kind of like Double Impact. And
I was saying, I thought some blood sport. I felt some blood sport in your main character too.
I was thinking of like a Ken and Ryu.
Right. And Max's
delicious.
This is Max's girlfriend, Nina Derringer, and then this is the evil British guy. He works for the British government. Niles Chesterfield. Give him a real British name.
This gives me a little Goldfinger vibe.
Yeah, he's got a real. And then here's one of the giant heavies, like a 7-foot tall Chinese dude. This is Chong Chi-hua. He's the first guy that Max is fighting. So you see the tiny head and the huge body. So I'm going for that Arthur Adams, Ed McGuinness kind of look. This book, I'm going to launch it next year, I think in February. This is Gregory Volkov, that dad of the twin brothers. And then here's just another action pose of Zhang Jing. And then again, another one of Max. So I've just been working on this for a while, refining it. And it is my love letter to martial arts, Hong Kong cinema, all that stuff that I really love. You know, all that stuff that I adore.
Man,
I love Van Damme. I love Steven Seagal. And it means a ton to me.
I love your art. I love what you are doing in the drawings. I have had this complaint for a long time, and I actually have vented it here on the show a couple of times. That normally you see current comic book drawings and are just this 3D model overdrawn on a tablet, and that's it. And it lacks something that you really need. You need that deepness, you need that movement, the deformation of the body, something that if you see something from Kirby didn't knew how to draw perfectly a human, but he will do first the deformations and then he will feel the extra stuff to make the body work. And that made it feel alive. It made it feel a movement, and the action, you will feel it on the page. That's something that I miss, and I can see that on your drawing. So I love it.
Thank you so much. But like, I want to show you, and that means a lot to me. They said that you could feel the action, because I'm all about it, man. I love action movies, specifically the first 5 Steven Seagal movies, the first couple Van Damme movies. I think they're actually very, very good movies. And
agreed.
just to show my cred, I was in Chinatown in Los Angeles 2-3 weeks ago, and I sat at there was like 200 people there, luminaries from Hong Kong cinema, Kung Fu Hustle, and Only the Strong, and Kickboxer, and Bloodsport. So that's me and my wife next to me. The guy right behind my wife, that's Sheldon Lettich. He wrote Rambo 3. He wrote Lionheart. He wrote
And that is.
Hold on.
And I'm fanboying right now. If you saw my face.
The guy next to him in the black bandana, that is the bad guy from Only the Strong, and he's also the guy in Lionheart that fought Van Damme in the swimming pool. The guy next to him, the older guy that's kind of going bald, that's Benny the Jet Urquidez. He fought Jackie Chan. He's like
way.
He was in Batman Returns. He was in Spider-Man. He's a stunt coordinator on a million. And then the guy in the foreground with the orange shirt, that is Todd Senofante. He is Van Damme's double and stunt double and stand-in from 1994 to like 1999. And then they got back together like in 2006. And then he was in Jean-Claude Van Johnson in 2017. And I interviewed Todd for an hour. I chopped it up into 5 videos. I'll be posting those next week. Todd is amazing. He looks just like Van Damme.
And that's a table of legends.
Yeah. And the room was filled with all kinds of people. Ron Hull was the guy that put me up there because I'm doing a Bruce Lee comic for Ron Hull and stuff. And that's a lot of fun too, but that's a different project. I can talk about that later. But so my cred on this stuff is I love this. I'm going to interview Benny the Jet pretty soon. I'm going to have him on my channel. What a legend this guy is. If you don't know who Benny the Jet Urquidez is, look it up. His fight with Jackie Chan in Wheels on Meals from 1984, that might be the best or second best fight on screen in the history of movies. It's an amazing fight. I think the best fight in the world is the fight in They Live with Roddy Piper and Keith David.
I love that.
They fight in an alley for 8 minutes straight. It's insane.
Put the glasses.
Right. Yeah, I love They Live. One of my favorite movies. But
so good.
Yes.
So that's why I tell you, Beef Law, that is truly my baby. I'm pencil, ink, color, letter, right? I'm doing the whole Justice. I love it, but I'm just coloring and co-writing. But Beef Law, that's all mine. That is my passion.
Okay.
So, but I want to encourage you guys out there, whoever you are. I gotta go soon, but I found out that Geeks and Gamers was having a get together in Vegas.
Yes.
And I live like 4 or 5 hours from Vegas. So I just rented a hotel room in Vegas and drove up there. I told you that. But here I am with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers.
Nice.
And X-Ray Girl. She's setting me up to go on the show. And
nice.
and I hung out with I showed that video earlier with Alex Stein and stuff. But if you're out there, be a go-getter. Email people, ask people questions, ask people what you can do for them to help them out. And don't expect anything in return. And just like don't live a life of mediocrity. You want to make something happen. You know what I mean? Nick, you just messaged me and asked me if I would come on. That's what I go get her. Just do it. I could have said no.
You could have, and I would have understood. I would totally understood. You're busy. You're busy as fuck. I would be like, okay, hey, no hard feelings. I've been turned down before. Wish I have. And I get it. Like, you got so much going on in your life. Like, I don't take it as like a personal thing.
Yeah.
When people have lives, they have lives. But yet here you were. You responded. I'm like, oh, I guess this is going to be a thing. Cowabunga it is. And yes, the best is yet to come. And that's what I love. You took the time and, it shows you too, like you go on the big pages, you go on the small pages, because you never know who is listening, who may say, okay, I need to see what's going on, whether it's Bass Reeves or TJAW. Either like you're putting your message out, someone is hearing your voice for the first time anywhere you go. And that's you never know, because no matter where you go, someone hasn't heard you and they might want to hear what you're about.
Thank you. And I was walking back to my hotel room on Wednesday and I saw this banner on the Vegas Strip. And I want you guys to internalize that. The best is yet to come, guys, for all of you that want to work hard. It really is. I saw that and thought it was poignant. But last thing I wanted to show you, Todd Senofone. I'm going to post his the interviews are great. All behind the scenes with Dennis Rodman and Double Team and how he had to run from a tiger in that movie, a real life tiger.
You see, that's why the old movies were badass. They did it for real.
Look at how much he looks like Van Damme. This
guy. It's uncanny. Look at
here he is in Knockoff, and and there he is with Sammo Hung. Sammo Hung, one of the great Hong Kong martial artists, and he directed Meals on Wheels, that Jackie Chan movie I was just talking about. So I'm way into this stuff. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And if you love 80s and 90s martial arts action, Rambo, Stallone, you have to sub to my channel and watch Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. If you know who Jericho Green is, he's
Great
co-host.
guy. My
Me,
dad's a big fan.
Shantan Jetty, Jericho Green, and myself. We check out one movie a week, break it down, and we have so much fun laughing and talking about these movies. And then Todd, this guy right here, that's Van Damme's twin brother, he's going to come on that show and break down his favorite Van Damme movie that he did stunts in and tell us all behind the scenes about it. So yeah, I'm way into action. I might be more into action than I am into comics sometimes. So I love action movies. I love them so much.
That's fair.
Too bad they don't make them anymore.
No, they really don't. And like I said, I host a similar show myself on Tuesday night called Toxic Tuesday, and a lot of the shows we take the whole toxic male. That's for us. That's like our badge of honor. We make that as our badge of honor. And we have talked a lot about great action movies, whether it's Van Damme, Seagal, obviously Stallone with Rambo or Cobra. Like we celebrate that time period, and we love those type of movies. And I'm such a huge fan. And I get where that comes from.
A recommendation for a movie.
Always take a recommendation.
It was number one at the box office when it came out in '89, but everybody forgot it because Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Indiana Jones and Last Crusade, and like 5 hits came out in 1989. But Michael Douglas, Andy Garcia in Black Rain.
Black Rain. I love Black Rain.
So good.
So
you in the chat, if you haven't seen it, it's got a character arc with Andy Garcia and the Japanese detective. It's one of the most heartfelt things I've ever seen. I won't spoil it, but that's a good movie with some great. The thing that's missing now, the feminists, the SJWs, they hate men. They hate masculinity because it poses a threat to their nonsense.
Yes.
These old movies talk about being a man, talk about being a hero. You know, when I make this stuff, it isn't just about a cool drawing. It's about what did I learn when that hero stood up to evil and it looked like he was going to die. You know what I mean? But he overcame it for his family, his country, his religion, his whatever. He realized there was something bigger than him. He realized that there was truth, justice, and the American way was here before I was born, and I'm going to make damn sure it's here after I'm gone. I didn't make it. I don't have any right to destroy it.
Dude, beautifully said, dude. And I agree with you. I have seen personally Black Rain, so I'm going to basically bounce off that comment and say, yes, Gabe is preaching facts here. Guys, watch Black Rain. That will be a Toxic Tuesday movie one day as well. So, and it might be a little sooner than you think, which is very oddly prophetic that you mentioned that. So, all right. Well, dude, I'm going to let you, I know you've hit an hour, and I'm not going to try to overstay your welcome because you said an hour, and I don't want to overstep your boundaries.
Well, here's the thing. I talk a lot, and I dominated the conversation because I'm a very fast thinker. I talk a lot. But Pablo, Fenrir, Ironcast, I didn't let you talk much. I do apologize. It's irritating. I know. Do you have something you want to ask me or anything before I go? Because I talk a lot.
I have something. I was talking about today's show with my best friend. Since you were on DC and basically you were, when you quit, you were protecting the mythos that we have. And well, he is a big fan of Batman. What era do you think is the best for Batman?
What era?
Yep.
The greatest comic book thing ever made is the Batman animated series. It's better than any comic. It's better than any movie. It's better than anything ever made with Batman. So to me, that the Batman animated series from the early 90s is here. Everything else is miles below. Yeah, I love Batman comics. I mean, to me, they make too many, so they're kind of like a blur. I really enjoyed Arkham City, but I'm biased. I worked on it, and one of my best buddies was the character designer, Carlos De Onda. We did the comic of that. As far as Batman comics, I think Norm Breyfogle doesn't get enough credit as one of the greatest Batman artists ever. And I really, really liked 1999 No Man's Land when the earthquake destroyed the city. And it was kind of like Mad Max, Escape from New York. I really love that storyline. I think it's great. And all the Chuck Dixon Nightwing is comic book perfection. So those are my top Batman things.
Thank you. I kind of have a question too, and
sure.
As a creator in the making, as I want to say, I always had this question, and you did give some great answers for inspiration. But as a creator just starting out, what exactly do you suggest for just to just go.
That you just answered it, buddy. Go. Listen. I lift weights. I'm very strong. I do that
too.
I did not put 250 pounds on the bench press when I was 14 when I started, because I would have ripped my shoulder out of the socket. You know, you just put a little and you do it the first day and you're happy with it. And you say, thank you, God, that I could do that much, even if it's a little. It doesn't matter. You're not going to become a comic book creator, Fenrir. You are one now. It's a continuum. Imagine I got to grab the nearest thing. I have this ruler here. This ruler is success here, and you are standing here. What step of your journey is the success? Do you know? There's no wrong answer. Tell me, which of these steps is your goal here? Which one?
Well, I think I'm at least at the fourth step, maybe. Third. I mean, I've already got it written down, characters down, everything down. I just need the art.
Here's how you have to look at it. The answer to what part of this, your success, your goal's over here. You want to be here and you're here. The answer is this is your success, and this is your success, and this one is. Every step you take is the same as the last one. Think about Mount Everest. If you're going up Mount Everest, the top isn't the goal. Every 12 inches you lift your foot is the goal. Just lift your foot 12 inches 10,000 times, and you'll be at the top sooner or later. So you're not going to become a comic book artist or whatever, writer, whatever you want. You are one. You're not exactly where you want to be, but in life, direction is more important than location. You understand? Are you further today than yesterday? Even if it's a millimeter, give it enough days and you'll be there. And tell yourself this is the scary good thing. The time is going to pass anyway. So if it's going to take you 6 years to have Fenrir's great comic, would you rather have it in 6 years and have to wait? Or would you rather the 6 years happen and you didn't get off your ass? And now 6 years have gone and you still don't have it. You're going to have to wait another 5-6 years. The time's going to pass anyway, dude. So whatever you can do today that builds your goal, do it. Get a roadmap of your goal. I want X. The ingredients to X are these 400 things. I'm going to do 3 of them today and 2 of them tomorrow, 8 of them the next day, 1 of them the next day, 1 of them the next day. And that's it. You're just taking steps. And eventually you have to get to your goal. It has to happen. But you have to understand the steps. What are they? And then you have to be consistent and disciplined. Discipline means I'm not going to, I'll take this week off, or I'll take this month off, or, after I finish school this semester. Fuck that. No, you do it. The most important time to go and do it is when you don't want to. That's a warning from your brain. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't want to lift weights today. Okay, I'm running to the gym then. If I don't want to, then I'm running over there. I'm sprinting to the gym because I don't know why I don't want to. Maybe that's quitting is starting. You know what I mean? Maybe it's permanent.
Yes, I do.
So you're not going to become a comic book artist or writer. You are one today if you decide it and you do something about it. That's it.
Yes, I understand. Thank you very much, Mr. Eltaeb. Thank you so much.
No problem. Anything else?
I mean, I was gonna go for one of the. I mean, there's been a lot along this tonight that I would have wanted to ask about, but I figured go with asking, with the change from going to the big publishers to the indie scene, like what has been the biggest challenge for you so far?
Challenge? Nothing. It's so much better. You work less, like hours and pages and all that. You only work when you want to work, and you make a ton more money. And you ask yourself, why did I wait so long? Now, I have to be grateful to DC Comics and Dark Horse and Image and Marvel. They gave me an opportunity to make money. They gave me an opportunity to get better. They gave me an opportunity to build a reputation and a resume, proving I can do good work. So I have to be grateful whether I like it or not. I have to show gratitude there.
Oh, yeah, credit where it's due.
Go down a road of immorality that just, it violates my moral tenets. I will not do it. I'm not doing that. So that's fine with me. It's a free country. They're allowed to do it. And I feel sorry for them every time they lay off more editors that I knew those were my friends. I knew them. I went to the parties, the conventions. I didn't hate these people. And I know them. They're married. They have kids. They own homes. I don't want them to lose their jobs. This sucks. And in football, we have a saying. You're either coaching it or you're allowing it. So I would say to the leadership there, whoever making these decisions, you are either telling them to do this stupid SJW stuff that doesn't sell, or you're not telling them, but you're watching them do it and you're letting them continue to do it. Either way, it's a failure of leadership. So the difference between the mainstream and being independent is happiness. I'm so much more happy now, but I am grateful for the past. It was a dream come true. I was a little 12-year-old that wanted to work for Jim Lee, and he hired me. And those are all great things. I'm not going to pretend it wasn't. You know, when I started there, we weren't woke. It was very normal stuff, and I enjoyed working on it. And it decayed right at the same time frame as our culture has decayed. You know, Western culture has slid. Comics just mirror the cultural decay that we're in as Westerners. So.
One other thing I just kind of want to point out. One, I love the seeing the stickers, getting the little corner on the campaign. I mean, see the little corner icon with the 3 heroes.
Right.
But one of the odd, unique things I've come across with some of these campaigns I'm a big fan of is some of them doing like custom poker chips.
Oh,
yes,
interesting.
Fun
just
stuff.
There's something I keep at my desk here. I'm always just kind of filling with.
Right. Well, I'm not against anything. If enough fans tell me they want something, we try and make it happen. If it makes money, and if it makes money, then it makes sense to me. You know,
the market decides.
Right. Yeah. The fans, you know, that okay, here's another thing. The mainstream versus being independent. I like being B2C. That's business to customer. Because the model for me before was B2B. I'm business to business. My customer was another business. It was DC Comics. You know, I own a business. It's a registered LLC with the government. I have a corporation with one employee. I'm the only employee of the corporation. But I have one to help myself with taxes and all that. That's all legal and it's smart. My wife's an accountant. So she helped me set it all up so I can do as good as possible financially. So B2B is not nearly as fun as B2C. It's fun to be on YouTube and see the chat and see the super chats and talk to fans directly. And I've had multiple fans private message me and say, why don't you have this? And I went and added it to IndeGoGo. Someone said, you have 3 signed, but you don't have 3 signed and 3 unsigned. I added that and I've sold multiple copies of it. It didn't occur to me to have it. So I really love that direct thing with the fans, connecting to them and serving them. My family owned a Mexican restaurant for 50 years. So customer service, where you're looking right at people, you're shaking their hands and all that. You're right there with them. That's important to me. And YouTube and Twitter and Instagram, they give that to me as a businessman, where I can be right there with you and say, okay, well, how do you like that? Is that good? No, you don't want that? You want more of this? Okay. And I love that aspect. So at DC, we were told not to do that. Don't promote the books on your own. Don't go be speaking for the company. Just draw it and be quiet. That's how they treated us. So
that's insane. Because especially I feel like one comic that I feel like could have gotten more recognition during your time is when you did the colors for Superman number 39, the Peter Tomasi, Patrick Gleason. I loved that issue so much. It was one of my favorite issues of that run. And I was just like, and that I felt it was something more people should have known about, was that specific one-off story. Especially Superman is a perfect character that benefited from the one-shots. That story should have had so much, because it's a good gateway comic for people. If they want to say, what's Superman like? They could have jumped right into that book, not need to have previous knowledge. They could have seen a one-off story, enjoyed it, read for was, and not have to feel like they're bogged down in any continuity or have to know about it. So it's just, and that was a book that could have gotten people down the rabbit hole per se.
Right. This is a book Barry Kitson illustrated. Oh, we got an echo. I don't know where that's come from. Barry Kitson was the illustrator, I think, and then Tomasi, who's an awesome dude. I did a book about the Brooklyn Bridge with Peter Tomasi. It was amazing. It was a small book from Abrams Publishing. I know the whole history of how the Brooklyn Bridge was built now. Peter Tomasi's from there, like Brooklyn, and he loves the history of where he's from. And I really love him. He's a great writer. He wrote a lot of Green Lantern stuff I did. And this was fun. It's such a heartwarming story. The Justice League goes to a children's cancer ward, plays games with the kids, takes them all over, shows them all kinds of stuff. It's implied they're going to die, these kids. Yes. And at the very end, I'll just show you. Hold on. Let me open that page too. Go ahead. People come up to me at Comic-Con crying, holding this book, saying that they read it to their daughter who was dying, or kids at the hospital or whatever. And I just think, where has that gone in art? Like, this is why we're making art, to lift people up, to touch their lives, to inspire them. And it's the Green Lantern makes a Green Lantern space shuttle all the kids fly to the moon with Superman, and they get to look at the Earth, and these kids are doomed, basically, you know. And hold on, let me change what I'm sharing here.
Oh God, I remember when I first read that issue, dude. I felt that issue, and I reread it. When I hung out at my comic shop, I would recommend to people, like, if you weren't this is, hey guys, take a look at this comic book. This is a fantastic book, and it's just this. Like, oh, I remember, you're bringing me back to when I first read this. Like, see, now that you're showing me this, like, this is crazy.
But this is the heartbreaker here. They go to the moon. Superman lets them see the Earth. They're going to take them back, but Superman etches all their names into rocks.
Yes.
Like with his laser vision or something. He etches their names because these kids are going to die. Yes. You know what I mean? But this book, what it's about, and Peter Tomasi, he's such a great writer. He's not an SJW. One of the most talented writers. Great, and just a nice guy too. But the point of this book is about love in the face of death of children. There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse. But this is what art is supposed to do. This is transformative. And people like Tom Taylor and Tom King are disgusting that they won't write stuff like this when we have the power to do it and the platform to get a message out like this. This is the only book I have. People come up to me at conventions crying, holding it, wanting an autograph.
So good.
Because it means so much. Good. Art is so transformative. And, you know, behind me here, Van Damme, that was transformative to me as a kid. It taught me about bravery in the face of fear. You know what I mean? And it's why you want to make Beef Law and Truth, Justice, American Way. You want to make it so you're making a difference in culture. You know, I'll leave you guys with this. My daughter's a stand-up comedian, and she's professional now. She started getting paid in July. She's 25. She started when she was 16, performs in Hollywood, and she's all over San Diego now. She's back home, but she's kicking a lot of butt doing comedy. And I told her that art is a holy endeavor, and you're not supposed to use it for evil. It's too important. It's too impactful. When you use art to denigrate people, to say America sucks, or any country or culture, or people, gay or straight, or this religion sucks, you are being a monster when you do things like that. If you do something like what Peter Tomasi and I did here with Barry Kitson, that's what we're supposed to do. Lift people up. Tell people no matter how hard your heart has been broken, God is there. Your country's there. Your people are there. You're not alone. You can make it. That's what heroism is about. And until they turn the ship around, I told you, direction is more important than location. And the direction Marvel and DC are headed is off a cliff. And they need to stop. So that's all I got.
No, man, that I'm glad I'm glad I mentioned that particular comic. That's great. That's just that I felt like a bonus now. I feel like you gave me more than my comment, question, whatever you want to call that was worth. So seriously, dude,
forgot all about that issue.
Dude, it's such a good. I bought a few copies and I literally gave it to friends. And I was one of those. I think I bought like 5 or 6 copies and gave it to friends just to like say, hey, check this out. Come on, like. It was such a great book, and yeah, it's I think I even showed it to my children like before they can understand what comic books were, because my girls were 4 and 6 when that came out, so I was happy to read that to them, and then so they can understand, because you know kids can understand a story where it's serious about something, but there's something that's still heartwarming about it. They'll still understand it, and kids can latch onto this type of story, even despite how sad it is for these unfortunate kids. They can still see the positivity shine through in this book, all the smiles and what they're doing for these kids, giving them that last moment of greatness in their life before they go. It's okay. You're seriously just seeing all these. You are taking me right back, man.
Well, I'm going to say one thing. I'm going to say one thing about this book and why you need to buy my book, Truth, Justice, American Way. And I left DC Comics because they got rid of the American Way. I'm going to say one thing about it, and then I'm going to disappear like Houdini. Right here, this Superman loving these kids, and they're going to die, but he's going to share love with them because he was taught that by his parents. This love is not a superpower of his. He has laser vision. He can survive the vacuum of space and freeze breath and blah, blah, blah. But love isn't one of his powers. Loving them was taught to him by his parents and his culture, his religion, his Midwest Kansas values. And that, friends, is the American way.
Agreed. Straight.
Man.
Oh, wow.
Straight like a magician, man.
Whoa.
Just freaking
That
legend,
was
I
a
tell you.
closer. That was a closer. Whoa.
Man,
So
that was
cool.
amazing.
Holy
So cool.
woo.
Man.
Guys.
Okay, Nick, listen to me. Listen to me one thing. Look, I don't want to be a brain killer or something, but I feel we just got to end it right here. I'm sorry, but it's just going to be dead without it.
Wow.
Oh,
Oh my God. That was a
Yeah.
tangent if I've ever seen one. Guys, just what just happened the last hour and 20 minutes. That was amazing. Yeah, guys, shout out to Gabriel Eltaeb. Like, seriously, let's give her. Oh my God.
Yeah, let's clap it up for him. Come on.
Oh wow, that was. I felt that seriously. Every
yeah.
bit. That was.
Every single word was like a huge nail hitting with a hammer.
It was
Gives
great.
you chills, right?
All right,
Yeah.
guys. Gabriel,
I'm just glad Klobby wasn't here to hear him talking about the Star Trek thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh man, I
Yeah,
actually want to see that. I would have paid to actually see that. I'm not lying.
All right, so guys, this is Gabe's book. Bass Reeves, obviously Bass Reeves, and then this is his channel right here as well. Sub to his channel, please. This is where you can back Truth, Justice, American Way, and on those things, don't forget, you'll find out when he's got his other book coming out that he's doing the everything on. That's gonna be his like action movie book as well. So. Holy crap, guys! Yeah, that was
Man, it's just
insane. Gabe, I'm in debt to you, man. You're probably busy, but if you ever hear the aftermath of this, thank you so much for your hour and 20 minutes that you gave us. You said an hour, and even though I gave you the right of way to leave, you had every right reason. I don't want to. You gave us additional 20, and that was. And yeah, TZ, that was a mic drop beyond mic drops. I will never.
Every single word was inspirational. Seriously, the guy was. Thank you so much. If you ever see this.
Yeah, and Chernobyl, seriously, thank you. I will make sure I live not far from Talks. We're like 50 minutes from each other. I will make sure I get that back. I owe you for that. Seriously, thank you very much, Chernobyl. I will finally get these super chats. For you guys who sent me, I'm so sorry. I'm sure you understood why, concerning the conversation
man,
just
that was
happened.
huge.
That was, you guys, it was huge. Like we say that a lot, but this was huge. All right, Guyver Mecton for $10 says for an inflated beer. Thank you, sir, for the $10. And my buddy Zach, who will be on Toxic Tuesday in a few weeks. I can't say what movie, but he'll be a guest on for that particular movie. Zach, for a Canadian $5, says, I'm working, listening. Great conversation and interview. Seriously, that was no. Thank you, Zach, Guyver Mecton. Thank you guys very much for the super chats. That was, that was, wow. I'm sorry. That was insane.
Seriously, we gotta end it here, dude. We really gotta end it here. Just it won't feel right to keep going.
No,
it was epic.
It was. He ended to while we were at he ended to while we were at the highest point of the stream. So maybe this will be the part where we call it. But I mean, unless you guys want to go for a half hour, then let it go.
Yeah. I mean, Nick, all our streams always feel like about an 80%. With him around, it was like a 200, and now that he's out, we're back at least 80.
All right. Well, you know what?
I'm gonna be chasing that high now.
It's okay.
Yep.
We'll find
Exactly.
We'll let this one be our
our
shorter one for tonight, and I'm sure you guys can understand why. So we'll do our regular plug of channels. Seriously, guys, thank you for being here and sticking around for the show. That was absolutely awesome and insane. And yeah, sometimes a show like that is what you just let it be. And I will let Fenrir go first. And guys, his name is in the description. Just go on the description and you can find his channel there. Fenrir, plug yourself. Figure.
Well, you know me very well. I'm not. Okay, I'll admit I'm not that much into YouTube. I've disappointed you so much, mainly because you guys actually haven't been subscribing that much to me. But I've really not have been doing much here, and I'm sorry because I really want to get my comic book up in the air, and I'm really trying, and all my times are really going on that. So I hope to at least have by the end of the next year, but at least have an image to show you guys what I'm doing. But yeah, forgive me for that. But if you really want to, just wait. One day, maybe if God allows it, one day maybe Nick will help me show it out here. Who knows? But yeah, just wait. Just wait, guys. Just wait.
All right. Hey, Fenrir, thank you, for being here as always, sir. I appreciate it.
It's always an honor. You guys are good.
His name is in the description. I literally have everyone on my panel tagged, so you could just simply go to their names on the description. I appreciate it, sir. I will see you next week, Ironcaster.
Hey there. So I'm Ironcaster. I upload on occasion, talking about tabletop games, role-playing games, big robots. I'll be on T-shirt Historians tomorrow for the Week in Geek. And on Tuesday or Monday, I'll be doing what I'm calling the Positivist stream to get into some more of the good stuff, because how long can we keep complaining about all the stuff Marvel, DC, or Disney, or all the the big names keep doing that we hate? It's like it's really killing the fun of doing the stream thing. I want to get in and talk with some people about the things we like.
I agree.
And then on Tuesday, I'll be over with Pops and Stone Loki to talk about a little movie. If you be so kind as to put that up.
Yeah.
Seriously, that feels like a Godzilla ripoff gone wrong.
It is.
There's sharks on the frickin' moon.
Well, it makes more sense than Sharknadoes.
I like Sharknado.
Yes, the first three movies were pretty good, but it just got too ridiculous.
For this, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be so much fun. This is going to be better than anything like you're going to expect out of the big studios. And come on, astronauts fighting sharks on the moon. I'm there.
All right.
It really makes you wonder, do they just swim on the ground like like street sharks from the 90s, or is there some kind of secret underground ocean?
There's a trailer out. They go through the ground.
Oh, street shark style. Cool.
Oh man, Caster. Hey, thank you, sir, as always. And Mr. Grant Gregory, what's up? Grant says, "Dude said Shark Side of the Moon is great." There you go, man. And Vince, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you, Caster. As always, sir. Like I said, Fenrir, thank you. I will see you next week. Pablo.
Okay, this smile is not going away. That was awesome. I wanted to show the smile because, goddamn, you know, when somebody gives you that energy, it stays. It really stays. It's something that keeps on you for a long time. So I'm motivated. That was awesome. Midnight Español. We are doing some crazy stuff. On Geekropology. I need to work on it, but now I have a lot of motivation, so I will. Thank you very much, man. Nick, this was amazing.
So, I feel like I can fight a bear.
Right. I feel like I'm ready to go up against the Titan. That was absolutely awesome. Pablo, sir. We dude. I don't know how we keep saying how's it gonna top it. We just set a new gold standard tonight with this one.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna have to find someone else to just we gotta find someone else to make it bigger, man.
Thank you, Pablo, as always, for taking the time that you do. You've been here since day one. Let's keep this train going, and one way or another, we're gonna top it, brother. I'll see you next week, and it's gonna be huge.
I am so tempted to show my face.
Guys, seriously. Obviously, we all know that was freaking awesome. Gabriel Eltaeb, thank you for your time. That was, I owe you so much for that. That was absolutely freaking awesome. So next week, guys, on the Comics Hot Talk, we'll be having the Ginger Ninja on, and Roger Ryder will be promoting their comic book, Anti-Steam Jug Western, aka Anti-SJW. If you put in initial speak, so there'll be guests on here to promote their book. It'll also be the Ginger Ninja's birthday, so that's gonna be fun. And of course, Toxic Tuesday this week. We'll be back returning. And after 3 weeks off, we're coming back. We'll be talking Airplane. It's gonna be huge. And what else? Oh, I did a video yesterday called Amazon's Rings of Power is the Disease, Beavis and Butthead is the Cure. Watch that video.
You've been seeing it, right?
I've been watching it, and I'm going to tell you why this show works where Rings of Power is already failing. So check out that video. That's Toxic Tuesday, and of course, Comic Shop next week with Ginger and Roger Ryder. And of course, you can find me at Midnight's Edge After Dark, yelling at parked cars. Thursday night throwdown at Comic Division, and on Wednesday night, I will be hanging out with the guys from Bounding into Comics for the Black Pill stream, so that's gonna be fun as well. So, and I've got a few other things in the work that I cannot say just yet. So whether it's things that I'm doing or appearing on. So seriously, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for all you guys for drawing a nice crowd for Gabe. You guys came out strong and full force for him. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You have a great night. I know Loki's got his show going on, and I know the Cocktail Lounge is going on as well. You all have a great night, a great week, a better weekend. We'll see you next Friday. Until then, may our cross paths again.